important. Go and ask the deity itself to do something now. So go and pray to Lord Vishnu. That's what India's Chief Justice B.R. Gavai told a Hindu petitioner who went to court seeking restoration of a mutilated idol of Lord Vishnu in Khajuraho. Chief Justice of India said, go and ask the deity itself to do something now. You say you are a staunch devotee of Lord Vishnu, so go and pray now. It's an archaeological site and ASI needs to give permission, etc. Sorry, unquote. Instead of justice, viewers, this Hindu petitioner was mocked. If the Supreme Court tells devotees to go to God for redress, then why do we even have courts, viewers? Why do we need courts? Let's all sit in our own homes, in front of our puja rooms, and appeal to the Almighty and His beneficence. Forget about going to the Supreme Court. Rahul Gandhi should do the same. Viewers, the Chief Justice of India's words prompted a backlash from various Hindu groups. The VHP, one of them, said, Indian society has faith and trust in the courts. It is our duty to ensure that this trust not only remains intact but also strengthens it. We also have a duty to exercise restraint in our speech, especially within the courtroom. This responsibility lies with litigants, lawyers and judges alike. We feel that the Chief Justice's oral remarks mock the beliefs of Hinduism. It would be better to refrain from making such comments, unquote. Now, when made aware of the massive backlash on social media, the Chief Justice of India says that he's 100% secular and treats all religions equally. This isn't just one offhand comment. It reflects a deeper pattern. For decades, secularism in India has meant ignoring Hindu grievances, almost as if upholding Hindu rights equals revivalism. Remember Nehru 1951's letter to President Rajendra Prasad, viewers? He scolded him for supporting the reconstruction of Somnath Temple, calling it revivalist, Hindu revivalist. Yet the same Congress governments had no problem spending money, public money, your money, my money, to maintain Aurangzeb's tomb, a tyrant who epitomized Hindu phobia. So restoring Hindu temples is communal. Or restoring Hindu statuettes is against secularism. But restoring the legacy of a bigot, a Muslim, is pluralism, tolerance, inclusivity. Even the Ayodhya judgment, while resolving a centuries-old dispute, went out of its way to uphold the Place of Worship Act, a law that literally denies Hindus the right to seek legal redress for historical wrongs. This is the story of post-independence India, a project to take the Hindu out of the Indian. Look at our neighborhood, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Maldives, Muslim-majority states that have erased diversity. There is no diversity in these countries. And then look at Hindu-majority India. Still the beacon of tolerance. Why? Because Sanatana Dharma is inherently universal, civilization, inclusive. That's the real wellspring of India's secular spirit. And it's time the state stopped being ashamed of it, viewers. I want to open this up. Tushar Gupta is there, Vishnu Shankar Jain there with us also, Tausif Ahmed Khan. And let's ask some basic questions tonight. Questions that need to be posed. And these are questions, viewers, that it's not just me who's asking. The country is asking. But first I want to begin with the lawyer, Vishnu Shankar Jain, who fights for Hindu rights. Vishnu Shankar Jain, are you surprised by what the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Gavai, has said? Do you find it out of character? Or do you think that this is part of a larger now ongoing sort of tradition?
See, Rahul, this is one of the incidents. And in past 5 years, if you would have seen the court proceedings and seen it very intensively, these are not just isolated events. Let me give you certain examples. When an issue of Shiv temple was involved, the Delhi High Court remarked and said that Lord Shiv does not need our protection. And ultimately that temple was erased. The judgment was upheld by the Supreme Court. So far as the issue of discrimination is concerned, when the issue of Waqf came, you remember, Rahul, directly the matter was entertained in the Supreme Court. But when it came to Hindu religious endowments, let me tell you, so far as Supreme Court is concerned, the challenge was to 4 state Hindu endowments, and that matter notice was issued in 2013 by the Supreme Court, and as recently as 2025, the Supreme Court asked the Hindu petitioners to go back to the High Court for their grievances. So the question is, why 2 yardsticks? And Rahul, if you will recollect, there was Somnath Yatra which was happening. the Somnath Yatra was, the Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra was stopped. First time saying that Lord Jagannath will forgive us. And later, because of this outrage, the judgment of the Supreme Court was reversed by the Supreme Court itself. If you remember, Rahul, so far as other issues are concerned, in Baba Ramdev case also, a very derogatory remark was made that we will rip you apart. So these are not just isolated incidents. There are many instances and there are areas where we need to address our issues before the court. And the most basic thing is that in this entire incident, a very important research is being missed. Now let me quote you. The ASI Act 1958, as per section 16 subclause 1 of the ASI Act 1958, the ASI is under an obligation to maintain the religious character of a place if it is within the control of the ASI, and the mandate of the law is that ASI will not do anything inconsistent with its character. So now today what ASI is doing, there are many monuments in this country which are under the control of ASI, where Hindu temples are existing, but ASI is not allowing them to worship. For example, the Ajanta Ellora cave, there is a Kailasha Shivling in Ajanta Ellora cave. No worship is allowed. There is this temple issue which is now highlighted. There is Bija Mandal where no worship is allowed. So the point is, when ASI is acting completely against the theme of the act, where is the grievance? Where is the remedy? The principle of law is you be just, ibi remedium. Where there is a wrong, there is a remedy. So if the remedy is to the deity, to the Almighty, so where will I go so far as Kashi issue is concerned? Where will I go so far as Mathura Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi issue is concerned? Where will I go so far as lawsuits are concerned? Because these are ultimately legal issues which have to be tried by the courts. And the courts, if they are taking different standards for different sections of the society, then definitely
why?
questions will.
Vishnu Shankar Jain, why? Why would they be doing that?
The fault line is secularism, Rahul. The moment me or any other, my friend Sai Deepak or whoever are used in the court, we are painted with the same brush that we are fringe elements. But the point is, it is not about fringe elements. The point is that the basic fault line of Supreme Court is when in S.R. Bomai's judgment, the Honorable Supreme Court has held that secularism is the basic structure of the Constitution. And Rahul, what is secularism?
Okay.
Has not been defined by the Supreme Court. So the basic fault line, when you are rejecting the argument, you can reject the argument, but you are not just rejecting the argument, you are rejecting the issue, you are rejecting the emotions, you are rejecting the principles of Article 25.
Okay, so let me bring in Tausif Ahmed Khan. He's a lawyer also. Mr. Khan, where do you stand on this issue? I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself. Yes, sir.
Rahul, so surprising that you are asking a question. Where does one stand when the Chief Justice of India rightly says that he respects all religion? The Chief Justice of India says, I visit all the religious places worship and I do not do any discrimination, unlike others. Others, which we saw a small trailer of who these people are. If you do not want the Supreme Court of India to follow, to work within the confinement of the constitutional framework, then just stop it, close it, shut it down.
No, so Mr. Khan, are you suggesting, correct me if I'm wrong,
Prime Minister says,
what are you trying to say?
The Supreme Court,
No, one second.
Matters of dispute will go to some
so
kind
are
of
you saying that Hindus,
makeshift kangaroo court where all the matters will be decided on the basis of Astha.
So tell me where
Someone's
in this,
Astha,
1 second,
you will
sir.
look at, Chief Justice of India
Can I
says
say something?
that, please, do not say now. Give me 1 minute uninterrupted. You gave 5 minutes to your fellow panelists. Now the question is, Chief Justice of India says, I am deciding a matter on the basis of merit. I decide that this is within the outside the purview of the court to entertain, and therefore I reject it. And you start saying Hindu khatre mein hai. The politics has to draw a boundary line. You want to do politics? Go and bring some other real issues. Not on these kind of issues.
Okay.
Bring up some real issues. You want to become a politician. You want to stand in election. You want to come on the news channel. Make some good news, some real news.
So which can I just ask you a counter question before I bring in Mr.
I mean, we are all bored and tired. Hindu khatre mein hai.
Okay. So let me just ask
you. have a secular Chief Justice of India. You start saying, oh, Hindu khatre mein.
Okay.
We are really sick and tired of all this.
Okay.
Or you shut down the Supreme Court, na?
Okay. At least you are not saying Muslim khatre mein today. That's good. One thing, Mr. Khan.
No Muslim will never be in khatra.
Okay, that's good. Next time we have a debate.
Next
time we have a debate. Okay, next time we have a debate. Next time we have a debate on this issue and you play the victim card, I'll remind you of these words. But one second, Mr. Khan, just answer a question. Okay, sir, just answer a question very calmly. You said matters decided on merit. But Mr. Govai says, the Chief Justice says, go and pray to your Lord. Now, where is the merit in that? Where is the legal merit in that, sir?
Where is that written in the order? Show me the order. I challenge you.
It's an oral observation.
No,
It's
no,
been
no.
well
Show the order.
reported
You talk
and
about the
admitted.
order. You show the order.
I'm saying.
What oral observation?
Bhaiya, I started by
Show the
saying it's
order.
an oral
Show me
observation.
in writing. Where is it written in the
I
writing
had
in the
said
order?
that it is an oral observation to begin
No,
with.
no. Talk about the order. We are talking about the order.
No, I'm
On
sorry.
merit, order
I'm
is
sorry.
decided.
The dismissiveness comes from what the individual has said. And today he is saying, no, 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 I've heard what I've said. A lot of people on social media made a noise about it. But I want to tell people, I want to clarify that I am 100% secular. He has not said that I didn't say it. So he said it, viewers. And a judge, when he makes a comment, just like some people in this country used the words of a judge when he made a loose remark against Prime Minister Modi, jumped on it and made it a huge national issue, today are saying, show us the order. So there is this selectivity, viewers. That's what I'm trying to get at. The question is why? Tushar Gupta.
You know, people who come from a state where sometimes voters are targeted for their voter preferences, as seen in 2021, it's quite luxurious to say we are bored and we are sick and tired of Hindu khatre mein hai. He is no authority to say what is a real issue, what is not a real issue. Temples are a real issue. People's faith is a real issue. Where they want to worship is a real issue. If they are not being allowed to worship is a real issue, and that is what the courts are for. If a court has the issue of a Hindu who's unable to pray in, say, Kashi Vishwanath or, Mathura or even Ajanta Ellora caves, as one of the examples given by Vishnu here, it is a real issue. Let's be very clear about that. I don't know in which decade, in which year did the definition of secularism became that Hindus have to be a punching bag while every other religion will get the respect it deserves from the institutions of India. And this is where my problem is with the Supreme Court. Also, on a different case, when the court was hearing, some observations were made against one party spokesperson that you are putting the entire country in danger. You are lighting the fire that will, sort of engulf the entire country. This inconsistency from one of the strongest pillars of our country, that is worrying. You cannot say that Hindu issues are not real issues. Hindus are real people. Maybe some definition of secularism teaches you that, oh, Hindus are not real people, but Hindus are real people. Their faith means something. And it needs to be heard in the courts.
And let me tell you, viewers, we come from a country where when Justice Yadav, the Allahabad High Court Justice, made some comments, off-color remarks, Hindus stood with Muslim brothers to challenge the justice and move an impeachment motion against him. Today, when the Chief Justice of India makes remarks which have been widely reported, attributed to him, which are dismissive of Hindu sensitivities, nobody from the other community, no Muslim is standing with Hindus to say, let's move a petition to get these remarks either withdrawn or expunged. No, here's nobody. Which tells you a lot. Which tells you, yes, very quickly, Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain, 30 seconds, and I want to move on.
See, Rahul, the point is that with the greatest of respect in this entire issue, I think this entire temple which was demolished in the past, we have all the rights under the law for its restoration. And the real basic issue is that why these temples which are under the control of ASI, why we are not allowed to worship there? Why ASI is acting illegally and why ASI is demarcating as living and
Well, these are
non-living
questions.
temples?
These are questions that can be
And
asked
where
now,
will be the
viewers.
remedy?
Maybe, Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain, you have to do what you do very well, which is move a public interest litigation. I think that needs to be done. Count me in. I'll be there with you. Let's do it. Let's do it together.
Sure.
Let's ask that question. I have no problems with that. But viewers, I just want to, stay with the theme and go to a connected story.